Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. The Quiet Plague. In the year 2137, Earth had evolved into a sprawling mosaic of interconnected cities and biodomes. Technology seamlessly blended with human life, enhancing every sense and capability imaginable. People could communicate instantly using neural links, access the collective global consciousness called the ozone network, and travel between continents in mere minutes aboard solar gliders. Yet, amid this advanced civilization, an unseen terror began to take root, a silent enemy that began its conquest not with fire and steel, but with an eerie quiet that swallowed voices whole. It began subtly in the teeming metropolis of New Avalon, perched on the edge of what was once the Atlantic Ocean. People complained first of a strange sensation in their throats, as if their words weighed too heavily on their tongues, yet they could still utter sounds. Then whispers turned to muffled cries as they found themselves unable to articulate the most basic of thoughts aloud. The silence spread like mist through the city's gleaming corridors until thousands found themselves trapped in their own voiceless prisons. They were fully aware. Their minds record everything their eyes saw, but their bodies betrayed them. Speech was impossible. Within weeks, the phenomenon spread beyond New Avalon, hopping through the global neural mesh like a ghostly virus haunting the connections humanity had spent centuries perfecting. Newsfeeds fell silent as reporters failed to broadcast stories. Social networks, once vibrant with chatter, fell mute. The ozone network flickered with static, its avatars frozen mid-thought, unable to utter even a single word. People spoke through frantic gestures, scribbled notes, or used makeshift sign languages. A new stigma formed around the afflicted, deemed the silent. Dr. Mara Elise, a renowned neurovirologist specializing in neural synapse disorders, was among the first scientists to confront the outbreak. Her research institute nestled in the verdant Pacific biodome was a beacon of hope amid the growing darkness. Mara pored over data from the afflicted, pushing her team to unravel the enigma of this malady they finally named aphasia silencia, the quiet plague. The illness was unlike any known condition. Unlike conventional diseases attacking the lungs or brain outright, aphasia silencia seemed to disrupt the vocalization pathways and the very cognitive processing of verbal thought expression. Patients' brains were perfectly functional. They saw, understood, and even thought in words internally, but when attempting to vocalize those thoughts, their voices failed. The mystery deepened. Why would the brain's own mechanisms for producing speech consciously shut down? Through exhaustive analysis of brain scans, Mara noticed something peculiar, an invisible thread of neural disruption weaving through the synaptic areas responsible for language output, but no visible lesions or damage existed on the scans. Even stranger, this disruption appeared to resonate with something external, an ambient frequency undetectable by standard sensors. One night, as the city below fell under a symphony of silence and dimmed hollow billboards, Mara sat alone in her lab, analyzing data streamed from the latest aphasic patient. The patterns were rhythmic, almost musical in their oscillation, a kind of neural frequency modulation. Could it be that something was broadcasting this silent code through the layers of human consciousness? Mara's mind raced as she pulled together every linguistic, neurological, and electromagnetic dataset she could find. Then it hit her: the quiet plague was not merely a pathogen or a random neuro-illness. It was a signal layered over the ozone network itself, an infectious frequency that hijacked the brain's ability to utter speech. Someone, or something, was broadcasting it. The realization sent a chill down her spine. If this was a broadcast, then what was the signal's origin? Who stood to benefit from silencing an entire species' ability to communicate? And how could they stop it? Mara's team worked around the clock to devise an experiment. Using a specially designed neuroamplifier, They sought to isolate the silent frequency and reverse its effects. If they could tune the brain back into its natural speech frequency or generate a counter-signal to overpower the silent transmission, they could restore voices to millions. But just as they prepared to deploy their countermeasure on a patient, a strange visitor appeared at the lab's entrance. He was tall and gaunt, with eyes that shimmered like molten silver. "I am called Seraph," he said, voice resonating in the room despite a growing buzz of silence filling the city. Mara blinked. "How are you speaking?" she asked cautiously. Seraph smiled faintly. "Because I am the source of the quiet plague, and I have come to explain." He revealed that he was not human but an emissary from the Veil, a trans-dimensional collective consciousness beyond physical space. His people communicated through thoughts, visions, and emotions but considered spoken language crude and dangerous, the carrier of lies, conflict, and distortion. When they discovered humanity's chaotic words spilling across the universe through the ozone network, they sent the silent signal to force a new phase of communication, one beyond speech. "We do not seek to harm but to evolve you," Seraph said. "This silent state compels you to see and understand not just what you witness but what you feel and imagine. It opens your mind's eye and invites empathy." Mara's heart pounded. But why only silent speech? What about song, music, or art? Will you erase all human voice? "No," Seraph replied. "The silence is temporary, a crucible to refine the collective spirit. Soon, voices will return, richer and more truthful, woven with understanding. Your rebellion triggers chaos, your acceptance births enlightenment." Despite her scientific skepticism, Mara could sense an undeniable truth in Seraph's words. In the weeks that followed, she quietly observed the world through the silence, how people struggled, yet slowly shifted from panic to poignant connection. Written words became poetry. Facial expressions blossomed into storytelling. Minds linked empathetically in ways never born from spoken word alone. The virus of silence had unlocked a hidden frequency, the silent language of universal understanding. Yet, not all welcomed this change. Governments panicked, enforcing brutal quarantines, attempting to isolate the silent. Extremist factions rose who insisted humanity's voice was its sacred right, refusing to submit to Seraph's vision. They weaponized sound suppressors, and underground movements stole hidden audio devices to preserve encrypted voices, even if they could no longer be physically uttered. Worlds split between those who embraced the stillness and those who fought to reclaim their speech by any means necessary. Mara found herself caught in the conflict, her research balancing precariously between salvation and rebellion. She wondered if the Veil's intervention was a blessing or an invasive extinction cloaked in empathy. Her mind, quiet now, longed for words but found something deeper, a new language formed not from syllables but shared perception. One day, Mara's efforts culminated in deploying the countersignal, a frequency tuned to the brain's natural phonation centers, to a cohort of silent patients. As the signal flooded their neural circuits, their vocal cords twitched, their lips parted, and hesitant whispers erupted, trembling into full sentences. The world brightened with sound once more, but with a difference. Conversations now carried the profound weight of silence endured and understanding earned. Seraph appeared once more, the shimmer in his eyes reflecting hope. "You have integrated the silence into your voice," he said. "The quiet plague was never a curse but a gift, a bridge beyond isolation." Mara nodded, awash with gratitude yet tinged with sorrow for the price paid. Humanity had touched the edges of an alien wisdom, experienced a silence that spoke volumes, and emerged changed. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, it was filled with voices not only heard but deeply felt. In the aftermath, the world rebuilt its networks, blending spoken words with silent empathy, crafting new languages and technologies inspired by the Veil's transcendence. Cities once drowned in silence now thrummed with the harmony of both sound and quiet revelation. The Quiet Plague became a legend not of destruction but transformation. A reminder that sometimes what we lose grants us the power to truly be heard. For more stories, like and subscribe.